Hey there, I'm Meister, and in this video I will show you how to make some fallen angels from the Dark Angels out of the Sternguard Veterans of the Leviathan Box. I have to say I had a bit of a problem with the Sternguard Veterans because I really liked the models, but they don't really fit in the lore of the Dark Angels, because actually every veteran in the Dark Angels is inside of a Terminator armor. It's, I think, the only chapter where the whole first company fits in Terminator armor, and so it would be a bit lore breaking to use other veterans. In the 9th edition you couldn't bring Sternguard or Vanguard veterans. You couldn't. And so it shall be. But a kind of a way to use the Sternguard veterans in the Dark Angels in the 10th edition, where you are actually allowed to, is to use like some Heresy veterans or the Raisin, who now are coming with a new lore. Or you could use them, like for example with the Chaos Space Marines, like the unit of the Fallen, like they have actual rules in the game. Or even better and fluffier, I think, there was a secondary mission for the campaign of the Dark Angels in the 9th edition, in which you had to give to the opponent rather a unity of fallen angels, a cipher, or like a fallen angel captain. Your aim for that game is to kill that unit or capture them. That means killing them in melee. But yeah, and that's really fluffy because that's the main objective of the chapter of the Dark Angels. And so I went for this very easy conversion. You actually only need a couple of bits. I 3D printed some, but you don't really need to. First of all, I removed all of the pieces I needed from the sprue, a pretty straightforward process. Then I removed all of the rest from the sprue left on the model, but that's not part of the conversion. You should always remove the mold lines. Then I started removing the aquila from the breast. First starting with a hobby knife, and then with some sanding paper and files. And after that I removed the purity seals. Removing the aquila and the purity seals allows you to play them as fallen, because they aren't a side of the Imperium, and so they wouldn't bring like purity seals or Imperium symbols with them. But it also fits in the concept of the Raisin, which means veterans of the Horus Heresy who redeemed themselves and now fight at the right side, and so they are still carrying this black mark on them. And so a purity seal would be, yeah, too pure, I guess, for them. And also up in the days of the Horus Heresy, the Space Marines didn't used to wear the aquila on the breast. The rim of the shoulder pad was a bit, yeah, it doesn't look really well on this model. So I decided, instead of repairing it somehow, I decided just to remove it completely. Again, first with a knife and then with some files. So this model will be the sergeant of the unit, so I wanted to give him a sword to make it look more like a knight. For doing this, I cut the hand with a pistol and glued a 3D printed one. You could of course use some other sword you had in your pile. But yeah, I just 3D printed one. I chose a backpack for the sergeant and I glued a decorative piece on it. This is also the same I glued on the backpack of Ezekiel, so a little remind there. Then I glued the model as normal together. It's now time to choose a head to use it. For the Fallen Angels or also the Raisin look, every head with a hood looks perfect. This one, for example, is one of the Deathwing Command Squad. Really nice kit for every Dark Angels player. Full with bits and decorations you can use on other conversions. But I decided to give him this 3D printed helmet that looks a bit more like a knight. So the sergeant has this really dark knight look that I was looking for. I also drilled some holes in the barrels. And that's pretty much it. You can of course modify some weapons or other things, but you don't really have to. So this is the rest of the squad I converted. On some of them I glued some candles, on some of them some skulls with candles. But actually the biggest thing I had to do was removing the Aquila, the purity seals, and then switching the head for a head with a hood. At the beginning I was a bit skeptical with this squad, because yeah, you cannot play it, but like, look at this. If you need a captain, you can just glue a mantle on any one of these miniatures and it looks like a very good lieutenant or even like a captain. I have to say, what really makes this unit unique for me is the paint job. I made them black instead of green, and so they really become what they are and what they should be. I also glued some decals on them. On the sergeant I applied the red Dark Angel symbol, but on the other I wanted to use something different, and so I went for this skull with the two wings. And on the right shoulder I glued the number 1 for the First Legion. Because I thought, yeah, up in the days they didn't have companies, they didn't have like troops, I guess, but they had legions. So yeah, that's it. A pretty easy conversion, everyone can do. But I really hope that you find the video helpful and maybe took some ideas from me. Also, a really big thank you on all of the people that are watching my videos and are commenting. I didn't expect to receive so much positive comments. That really means a lot to me. and it helps me going on with my projects and with the channel, so thank you. So yes, that's all from my side. Thank you for watching, see you the next time, and I leave you to the showtime!